Hey, everybody. Good morning. The Select Committee on the January 6th debacle is underway. We're we are getting, in fact, here, I'll show you a little live view of this. There's let's see, Aquilino Gonel is testifying right now. I don't have the sound on right now, but this is him testifying, one of the Capitol Police officers. It's fascinating. When I watched a little bit of the beginning of this, and it started off with a lie. And someone on Twitter, let me just go over to Twitter, where someone happened to point this out. Julie Kelly, January 6th committee already off with a lie. 7 people lost their lives, Thompson said, referring to law enforcement officers Thompson referring to law enforcement officers testifying as heroes, and said they held the line. This includes DC Metro officer Mike Fanone, the guy who's been on CNN dozens and dozens of times. And I was considering possibly just watching this morning and commenting, but I don't think this is the good day to do that. As I watched what little I did this morning, they were already, well, Julie Kelly goes on to say, and this is accurate, they played a cherry-picked graphic video of what some will find disturbing. I'm sure the committee will not show cops launching flashbangs or dousing protesters with tear gas outside. Then the tag on the footage was, excuse me, graphic video. And I didn't tweet this out either. Well, we'll do that in a minute. But yeah, this is the show trial has begun. The committee that is now there includes the 2 Republicans who voted to impeach Trump over January 6th. It includes Jamie Raskin, the guy with the, I shouldn't say pubic hair, but he does have kind of, anyway, he's the guy who led the impeachment process of the January 6th thing. And it's got Adam Schiff, who led the first impeachment process. And Benny Thompson, who's leading this particular committee, has twice voted to not certify the results of elections. So it's an amazing group. We'll talk a little bit. Well, I got several things about that, since that's the theme of the day, and we may even go and watch some of it. But it's today is the day where they're going to have the Capitol Police officers make pre-written statements about how awful it was, which it was. I'm not saying it certainly was a riot, and they had their job to do. But what's never going to happen in this show trial is they're never actually going to go and try to find out the why and how it could have been prevented, because if they would go through the how it could have been prevented, then they would have to talk to the Speaker of the House, who twice denied additional reinforcements for the Capitol officers before the event, and also somebody in that Sergeant-at-Arms office denied it during the event. Who's in charge of that? Who's the Sergeant-at-Arms of the House's boss? Nancy Pelosi. Now, what you're going to hear also today is that, Republicans are blaming Nancy Pelosi for that day. No, it's not her fault. It's the fault of the people who got out of hand. However, the lack of security when they supposedly knew that there's going to be some kind of thing going on, I would be happy to blame her for it. So that's just is what it is. Anyway, so we'll talk a little bit about the show trial today. I know that I think Monkey's streaming right now. I'm pretty sure HB's probably streaming this trial. In fact, let me go look on the YouTubes here and see what's going on under my feed. Let's see here. Subscriptions. Yeah, Monkey's going. He's not going right now. Well, I don't know. I thought for sure HB would be doing this show. But hey, I'm here. You're here. Let's make the best of it, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, or Johnny, what's your name? Yeah, Johnny. Go play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. And welcome back to the PDawgKnight channel. It is Tuesday, the 27th of July, 2021. And I am just elated that you're here with me today. Obviously, the theme of the show is the Capitol January 6th Select Committee made by the Queen of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, basically to make it a complete and utter show trial. See, you're not going to get any questions about her leadership during this thing, and or any questions or answers as to why reinforcements were denied more than once. You're probably not going to get any questions about any possible FBI involvement because they don't want to talk about that. Probably not going to get any pushback at all because right now we have an entire committee of people who were involved with the second impeachment trial of Donald Trump, which was kind of it just didn't go their way, and they're still salty about it. So this is how they can use this to see if they can blame the White House. They're going to try to somebody, Adam Schiff made some statement that perhaps they're going to be able to find ways to compel Donald Trump and Kevin McCarthy to testify during this show trial. And I find it fascinating. If we had a real media, they would see this for what it is. However, the media that we have is actually kind of cheerleading this thing. I saw a tweet by Brian Stelter this morning, which, in fact, I'll show you that tweet in a second here. I'm just putting out the show on the social media things. Also, I gotta get my phone out. And where is that? I responded to it, so let me see if I can find it. I should tweet this too. Let's see. Where was that? Come on. There you go. All right. We'll go to my profile and let's see. Sorry, I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% set up for this today. Imagine that. Me not having things set up before I came on. That seems to be a theme sometimes on my channel, but I'm getting better every day, and hopefully you all can witness that. So Brian Stelter this morning apparently just tweeting to Van Jones saying, "I do hope that the people will do themselves the courtesy of actually watching these hearings. When you hear from real people and you see real video, you don't have to take the left-wing word or the right-wing word. The truth speaks for itself." Really? Are they going to show all video or just selected videos? Is this going to be their own version of CNN's Project Veritas, where they say that Project Veritas uses doctored video or selectively edited video, which I'm sorry, but all video is selectively edited video unless you give the raw feed. And I thought to myself, I thought the purpose of the committee was to find out why and how it happened and how it could have been prevented. Oh, wait, this is actually a media event. Never mind, because they don't care. This is not about finding out why it happened, how it could be prevented, what all that. It is certainly it's a show trial, and it's a Senate. It's one more way they can spend their time focusing on Donald Trump and anyone who supports him and trying to make it sound like they are all evil people, right? So whatever, it's all good. That's what they do. And if you take it for what it is and realize that this trial's not, this hearing is not going to have a single, I wouldn't say dissenting voice, because it's not about dissenting from what happened. What happened, right? What happened. And there are certainly, anytime you get a riot like that happens, that's not good. But there's not going to be any voices asking questions contrary to what the Democrats want to put out as the vision of what happened. So what I'm saying is, you're not going to see any of the video where the Capitol Police were basically allowed people to come in. You're not going to see where people came in through open doors. You're only going to see the violence because they'll play that ad nauseum. Okay. And there will be no perspective regarding what happens in riots over the last year. Okay. Is this different from other riots that have happened throughout the year? And the funny thing it may not be. In fact, the people who participated in this particular riot or action or whatever the hell you want to call it, pretty much were a mirror image of everything else that happened over the last year. Now, you may say, some say, well, the other people had a noble cause. Well, do you think election integrity is not a noble cause? Regardless if you think they were wrong or right about the election, do you think that is not a noble cause? Do you think that they were protesting something that they believed where they were wronged? Oh, that's right. The media says that's the big lie. That's the big lie. Yes, 6 cities where they miraculously all stopped their vote counting at the same time is the big lie. And all of a sudden, all 6 of those cities and major swing states all changed from one candidate to the other. That's the big lie. There are over 400 people testified to certain things that happened that they don't want to talk about it. But that's the big lie. But they lost in court. Over 80 cases lost in court because, there was no jurisdictional, they had no standing in that jurisdiction. But that's the big lie. So you can understand whoa, what the hell is that? Gosh, dang it. Wow. Sorry, guys. That was an error, unforced error. And I'm not even playing that game. What God, what the hell is that? All right, we'll turn that back up. Let me see if this works still. Yes, it does work. Anyway. All right, so let's we'll get into that in a minute. And real quick thank yous to Maddie and Will It Forge for tweeting out the show. Please share the stream. You can do it by clicking the arrow. Oh, I'm still on this screen, aren't I? You don't need to see this. Thank you, Maddie, and Will It Forge again for retweeting the tweet. Or if you're on, let's see, Gab, Minds, CloudHub, Parler, Getter. If you're on any of those platforms, please follow me at PDawgKnight on any of those any of those platforms if you want to get notifications. Also, you can sponsor the show at PDawgKnight.live. There's a link in there where you can do the Streamlabs or you can do YouTube SuperChats, and hit the like button sometime during the show just so that you just let me know. Just let me know. Let me know that you like me. You really like me. You know what I mean? Anyway, so, all right, let's say good morning to people who are here because we got 23 in the house. Hit a like button right away. First in the chat today, though, was Mr. Mike Savage Blarg, who I just saw over at Monkey Stream a little bit ago. I'm glad you came over, and thank you for dropping in. Also, good morning to Jonathan Peterson, Lord Stanhope, Jesse Leon, Maddie, who's on the road. You're out west somewhere. I saw you. I was watching your driving videos on Instagram. If you follow Maddie on Instagram, they drive around and take video of places they go. Some great, I love driving through the West because it's such different extreme changes in scenery. Anyway, also good morning to Renee Mayette, Dumb Beard, Attack Alpaca, I Love Vivi. Nice to see you here again. Good morning, Gunfox61, our administrator of these Discord server. I already said Gunfox, didn't I? No, I didn't. You were here somewhere up there. I thought, no, I didn't skip you. There's a lot of people got here before you. That's unusual. Gunfox is usually Johnny on the spot, but he always is. Anyway, also good morning, Cracked, Sin Nikki, Baby Vaso, nice to see you. And you're in Omaha. Oh, that's my hometown. In fact, I got to drive through Omaha in September because my son is moving to Denver, and his parents, aka me and Lady Boomer, and his future, I don't know what to call her yet. She's his girlfriend, his long time girlfriend. They are moving to Denver together. We're all gonna drive out there together between a truck and 2 cars, and oh boy. Also, good morning, ex Baba Hotep. So the first person testifying said we lost officers because of January 6th. Oh boy, is he still? Oh my God! And then these investigations. I'll tell you what. In this line of work, here, let's take a moment to watch. That I've dealt with some dicey situations. This is the guy who spends a lot of time on CNN. Many times over. Yet what I witnessed and experienced on January 6, 2021 was unlike anything I had ever seen. Really? Oh, not anything I'd ever experienced or could have imagined in my career. Really? Did he not spend any time in the riots? He's a DC Metropolitan Police officer. An armed mob. Armed with what? Thousands determined to get inside. Armed with what? I was among the vastly outnumbered group of law enforcement officers protecting the Capitol and the people inside. Armed mob. I was grabbed, beaten, tased, all while being called a traitor to my country. I was at risk of being. This is a guy who spends a lot of time. He's been on CNN multiple times. I heard chants of kill him with his own gun. I could still hear those words in my head today. Although I regularly deal with risky situations on the job, nowhere in my wildest imagination did I. Let me just say, that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. Nobody is dying. It's wrong. Oh, it's too low. You can barely hear it. That experience and its aftermath were something that not even my extensive law enforcement training. Sorry about that. Could prepare me for. All right, now, before I'm actually we're not going to watch this today. They already started with some lies. Okay, that said that 7 people were killed as a result of this. Yeah, not really. Okay, they kept trying to say that Sicknick died from this when he didn't. They made the big, talk about a big lie. Oh, they beat him to death. No, they didn't. This is the second person going right now. Yeah, no, I know that's the second guy, Michael Fanone. The first guy I can't remember what his name was, but yeah, they're you talk about perpetuating a big lie. Let's see. The network's not bothering. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to breaking violent video of the Capitol insurrection just released. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh, this is boy, I gotta tell you. Hang on, let me mute this because I don't want to have a music thing. This is here's some violent video from the insurrection. I gotta tell you, and I'll show you this because this is, well, it's an example of something, but I'm going to tell you what it's an example of. This is the violent insurrection in the Capitol building. Officers just kind of watching. They're walking around. Wait a minute. Where's this guy he's got a phone out. Yeah, they look like where's the, hey, I can't seem to find, wait, he's talking to an officer. Well, she looks pretty dangerous. Where's her weapons? Oh, and what is this guy? This guy's wearing a skirt. I don't get it. Where's the fire? Where are the beatings? Where's the fire? Where's the broken shit? Huh. Are they yelling? Hang on a second. Is this? No, there's still music. I don't know. This is, well, I'm pretty sure they're not showing this in they're probably not showing this in the hearing. And there were violent parts. I don't mean to downplay the violence that happened there. Okay, yes, there were people fighting with police. I'm sure that Michael Fanone who was talking about, he's never seen anything like the violence he saw there. Well, that's funny because I know there were riots in D.C. over the last year, and I know that people were killed in a couple of those riots. So how is it that he's never seen anything like it? I know that he was there Well, maybe he was there when they tried to breach the White House and set the guard shack on fire and set a church on fire. I'm pretty sure he was a police officer then. I'm pretty sure that when the Supreme Court, when people were trying to breach the Supreme Court building during the Kavanaugh trial, I'm sure he was there then. Now, the difference is, yes, some of these people got into the Capitol building. Some got in through violent means, and some just walked in. I am just dumbfounded by all this. Hello, Ebony Williams, by the way. Good morning to Renee Mayette. Hi, I think I already said Stanhope has in the house. Let's see. Oh, let me just go. Grill and Pirate Pete, what's happening? Lord Stanhope. There's a few others here. I'm just trying to get caught up here. Let's see. So let's see. Let's see. So low we can. Oh, that's right. Does bear mace count as being armed? Well, yeah, kind of. Armed. It's funny when he says armed. What's the first thing when you say that these people were armed? I'm thinking guns, rifles, hand grenades, bombs, all kinds of things. I don't know. This is the guy that they really want to talk to, though. Notice that this arsehole wants his uniform now. That undercover work is hard to admit to. I'm not sure. If you are CNN a lot, it's just understood that they are speaking industrial military complex propaganda. Sure. What do you not get about the 16th being armed insurrection? Or 1/6? Fanoan is the Democrats' fanboy. I give zero fucks about what he has to say. They were standing down and ignoring their operatives. Yep, it's going to be maddening to watch. Exactly. Good morning, Teresa the Kid, Asian Research Directorate. Remember, kids, on these hot and sunny days, sunblock only works if everyone wears it. What? I don't know. Good morning, Jaded Emerald. Yeah. I know the one guy was definitely armed, though. The dude with the horns, those horns are very dangerous. I'm just telling you. I find it. Let's see what he's saying.
As I was at risk of being stripped of and killed with my own firearm. I was electrocuted again and again and again.
Were you? Oh, this is the fabulous guy.
I'm sure I was screaming, but I don't think I could even hear my own voice. My body camera captured the violence of the crowd directed toward me during those very frightening moments. It's an important part of the record for this committee's investigation and for the country's understanding of how I was assaulted and nearly killed.
You know what's funny about this? We know what happened. The purpose of this, though, is to find out the how and why, and I don't think they're interested in that. They are singularly focused on one person, and that would be the guy with the funny hair. And they want to paint Republicans as approving of this, which nobody approved of what happened. But again, they're not going to ask questions. They're not going to ask questions about the FBI. They're not going to ask questions about any of the other agitators. If they do, more power to them. I would love to see, this is a stretch, but I would love to see Liz Cheney ask questions about that. I would love to find out why. I would love to hear one person ask the question, because the president of the United States at the time specifically requested that there be protection around the Capitol that day. It was denied. The Capitol Police learned a couple days in advance that there could possibly be violence and that they wanted reinforcements. That was denied. I want to know about those two things in particular. Why were the reinforcements denied? Why were the reinforcements denied during when it was happening? And I'm pretty sure they won't show the video of the people who were there to protest, who were complaining to the Capitol Police. Why were they allowing people to try to breach the building through destructive means? So I'm fascinated by all this. Good morning, Duck Dog. Nice to see you. So let's get into some of the other things here. Some people already see. Oh my gosh, there's been a holy crap. There's been a there's been a thread on my Twitter feed for about 3 weeks now. These two guys are going back and forth, and I just happen to be, I happen to be a part of the conversation originally. I should probably mute the conversation because these two are really driving me nuts. Anyway, let's get into a few things. Let's get into things about this. Let's get into a few things about this committee. A couple of articles that I have available. Good morning, Willett Forge. If you lie in court, it's perjury. When you lie in Congress, it's testimony. Right. Also, good morning, Fight for Your Rights. I already said Duck Dog, and I think I'm caught up. All right. This is interesting from CNS News, which, of course, they're right-wing. But anyway, Pelosi says the insurrectionists attempted to overthrow the government. To overthrow the government? Did they now? House Speaker Nancy Pelosi put out a press release on Sunday, which we'll look at that, in which she announced she was appointing Representative Adam Kinzinger to serve on the committee she has created to investigate the events at the Capitol on January 6th. In the release, Pelosi said that, quote, insurrectionist attempted to overthrow the government. Quote, on January 6th, insurrectionists attempted to overthrow the government during the worst assault on the Capitol since the War of 1812. Wow! You know, it's fascinating. Now they're going back to the War of 1812. Before, it was since, what was it? They said since the Civil War, but now she's going back even farther. The worst attempt to overthrow the government during the worst assault on the Capitol since the War of 1812. That is an amazing statement. Why do I say is that an amazing statement? Well, in the 1950s, 5 Congress members were shot from the gallery by people trying to, these were, I think they were Puerto Rican nationals who didn't want to talk about Puerto Rico or something. 5 people were shot from the Capitol. Members of Congress were shot in 1952. In the 80s, the Senate building was bombed, or was it the Senate offices? Does she not know this? Does she not know this? Bowser just made fun of Trump for asking for National Guard in D.C. Right. I know. It's amazing. She continues. It's imperative that we get to the truth of that day and ensure that such an attack can never happen again. Well, maybe you should have listened and had some reinforcements there. That is why we established the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, which is bipartisan. No. Just because you put Cheney and Kinzinger on the committee, it's not bipartisan. Okay? You can talk about Kinzinger's Air Force, service and the fact that he's a Republican, but that doesn't mean it's bipartisan. All it means is there's people. Okay, I'm going to change that. Okay, technically it's bipartisan, but the 2 members that she chose, because she didn't let the Republicans choose their own people. They rejected 2 of the committee members. I think Jim Jordan and what was the other? Jim Banks. Okay, and so Kevin said, "Fuck it, you don't care. You don't want anyone. You have no interest in actually making this bipartisan." She chose 2 members who voted to impeach Trump. That's what she did. The entire committee is a gaggle of anti-Trump people who want to pin this on here. Let's see the full press release. Speaker Nancy Pelosi today announced the appointment of Congressman Adam Kinzinger to serve on the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Okay, this is the same thing she just said here. Okay, nothing. It's not worth it. That tiny press release. You'll have a copy of the press release also in the tabs. Why is my mouse not working? I think I need a new battery. Yes, there is a copy of the press release here also. It's not very long. You can check that out. But oh my God, and good Lord. From the front page, the duplicitous January insurrection melodrama. Dem tactics camouflage with sophistries and logical fallacies. And this is by Bruce Thornton. Okay, so, and he's a Shillman Journalism Fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center. After House Speaker Nancy Pelosi kicked 2 Republicans off the House investigation of the January 6th riot at the Capitol, the Democrats and their media flacks, well, that's redundant, went into high gear to obfuscate Pelosi's transparently partisan motive to ensure the investigation reaches the preordained conclusion. Oh, what might that be? That Donald Trump incited an insurrection aimed at undoing the election results. In response to Pelosi's obvious attempt to get the fix in, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy of California pulled all the Republicans from the commission except Rhino Liz Cheney. Okay, now she's not. Okay, I don't necessarily want to say that she's a rhino. She's not a Republican in name only, but she has made it. She is. I mean, because you don't have to support Trump to be a Republican on everything, but she certainly does. She has completely and utterly given up any of her objectivity because of her distaste for President Trump. She hates him, and he doesn't like her, and so it's not. Both of them are never Trumpers. Exactly. She's a never Trumper. That means she doesn't believe in certain conservative things. She wouldn't vote on certain things, but she is totally and utterly a never Trumper. And that's what this whole committee is about. Anyway, as always, the Dems bare-knuckled any means necessary tactics are camouflaged with sophistries, logical fallacies, and vague questions presented as facts. The progressive site Politico was an eager promulgator of such propaganda. The column is filled with hyperbole like, quote, the deadliest attack on the Capitol in 2 centuries. In fact, of course, only the fatalities were 3 protesters and a D.C. police officer, all who died from natural causes, and Ashley Babbitt, an Air Force veteran, shot to death by a D.C. cop, even though she posed no immediate physical harm to him or anybody else. Equally duplicitous, or just plain ignorant, is the phrase, quote, deadliest attack in 2 centuries. Apparently, the 3 writers never heard of the violent attack on the House chamber by Puerto Rican terrorists in 1954. As congressmen were discussing the Mexican economy and immigration, the 5 assailants pulled out semi-automatic pistols and started firing down on them from the gallery. 5 representatives were wounded in the attack, saved from death only by the attackers' poor marksmanship. The terrorists were apprehended, tried, and convicted. One was released in 1978. The others had their sentences commuted a year later by Jimmy Carter. Or how about the 1998 attack, when a lunatic entered the Capitol, opened fire, killing 2 D.C. policemen? The killer made it to the offices of senior Republican representatives as staffers crouched under desks. He was shot by return fire from another officer he had mortally wounded, but the assailant survived. So much for the deadliest attack in 2 centuries. Or hype like Deadly Day, used without mentioning that the only violent death was Ashley Babbitt's. Then there's the begged question, the fallacy of assuming as true a claim that hasn't been confirmed by factual evidence. Just about every claim the progressives and never Trump Republicans are making about January 6th and Trump's culpability for the riot are begged questions. But here's a typical example from Politico Dem court scribes. Rationalizing Pelosi's Javert-like hounding of Donald Trump and her blatant attempt to rig the investigation, the writers counter Republican charges of Pelosi's partisan machinations. Quote, But the California Democrat and her allies insist it's the best way to prevent a repeat of the deadly day when thousands of rioters stormed the Capitol bent on overturning a Democratic election and threatened to kill members of Congress. Huh. Hello, Alone. How you doing? Hello, Ethics Goddess Diabli. Hello, Thomas Cleaver. First. Thousands of rioters stormed the Capitol? Stormed the Capitol. You mean protested outside of the Capitol or just kind of walked in? Stormed the Capitol. Thousands of rioters. Were thousands rioting? We can set aside the claim that a long, politicized investigation is the best way to achieve anything other than provide political benefit to the investigators. How did the 2-year-long $32 million Mueller investigation, which comprised rig FISA warrants, illegal surveillance of American citizens, and other skullduggery, achieve anything other than politically tormenting a duly elected president so he could be driven from office? Cui bono there? And thousands of rioters storm, quote unquote, implied they all entered the Capitol when in fact, at most, only several hundred did. And just how credible is, quote, bent on overturning a Democratic election, which may have been the intention of some entering the Capitol, but was highly unlikely to be achieved by random unarmed knuckleheads, certainly way farther from reality than the effort of James Comey, Robert Mueller, and Barack Obama himself to overturn a Democratic election in 2016. The federal government has vastly more dangerous powers it can wield than did the January 6th trespassers with their bear spray and shaman gear and faced by armed police. Only the lack of a majority in the Senate kept the Dems' coup by bureaucracy from succeeding in impeaching Trump. Next, we move from historical ignorance and hyperbole to one of sophistry's most useful logical fallacies, the argument ad misericordiam, which uses theatrical displays of emotion to misdirect readers from the weakness or duplicity of the claims. Consider this tearjerker from Democratic Congressman Karen Bass of California. Quote, they wanted to kill her. They were hunting her, Pelosi. I don't think this investigation is a political calculation at all. You're talking about the greatest, the greatest assault on democracy in over 100 years. Seriously? The congressmen and staffers in the 1998 attack were much more in harm's way than congressmen on January 6th, who were quickly evacuated. Such statements are pure bathos. They remind me of Bertie in All About Eve after Eve Harrington narrates her fabricated melodramatic biography. What a story! Everything but the bloodhound snapping at her rear. And when it comes to an assault on our democracy, those 5 hours in the Capitol and minor vandalism are nothing compared to the Russia collusion hoax, which subverted the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Nothing compared to the bananic republic thuggery of the FBI and DOJ and its hounding of citizens being held for months without bail in long investigations of what in the main amounts to trespassing violations. At the same time, Antifa rioters guilty of arson, vandalizing, assault, and other felonies enjoys the DOJ's and state prosecutors' catch-and-release policies. These are a few attacks on our democracy more dangerous than the violation of the foundational principle of equality before the law. Finally, the spectacle of progressives loudly decrying, quote, assaults on democracy, end quote, is utterly shameless. The Capitol is important not because it's the corporate offices of Leviathan Inc. The Capitol is the marble and brick embodiment of the Constitution, its balance of powers, divided government, and inalienable rights. Everything the progressives for a century have been relentlessly dismantling, everything that the Democrats for the last few decades have been besmirching. A few hours of hooliganism is nowhere near the existential threat to our freedoms that Democrats represent. COVID-19, anybody? Kevin McCarthy's right to keep his party clear from Pelosi's star chamber. We know from the numerous House investigations since 2018 that such inquisitions are not about truth, not about the Constitution, not about our political freedom, but about power to be gained by any means necessary. Let the Dems and their collaborators, Liz Cheney, own what will be a transparent propaganda against Donald Trump and his 75 million supporters, who will be reminded why they voted for Trump in the first place. Republicans need to stay focused on one thing: regaining the House and Senate in 2022. Those collaborating with Dems over a bogus budget-busting infrastructure bill, those voting to confirm Biden's radical cabinet appointments, need to stop. Their job is not to be bipartisan so they can, quote, solve problems, but to defend our freedoms and the Constitution. This is no time to go wobbly. Yeah. Exactly. Correct. I concur. Good morning, Jay's PFP. Good morning, Uncle Bad Touch.
Come on, man.
I know who you are. So this is kind of editorial about the insurrection. You know what that is, anyway. By the way, thanks everyone for being here. Reminder: the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please hit the like button. We're at 33 people and 13 likes, so please take care of that for me. And also, please share the stream if you haven't done so already. Looks like several of you have, or some of you have, a couple of you have. And then also you can sponsor the show. You know how that works. I'm not even going to go into it. Let's see what Daniel Hodges is speaking. Let's just get a glimpse of what he's saying before we go on to the next article. Daniel Hodges is another DC Metropolitan Police officer. I'm confused. Where are the Capitol Police in this?
The terrorists had a wall of shields that they had stolen from officers, as well as stolen batons. What other armaments they brought?
What other armaments? They didn't bring any armaments.
During this intense contest of wills, they tried to convert us to their cult. One man shouted, "We all just want to make our voices heard, and I think you feel the same. I really think you feel the same." All while another man attempts to batter us with a stolen shield. Another man, like many others, didn't seem to appreciate that this wasn't a game. He fought his way across the lawn, up the steps, through the western terrace. All the OC and CS gas, and at the front line of this final threshold was asking us to hold on.
Oh, through all the OC and CS gas?
The two sides were at a stalemate
So
at a metal door frame that sat in the middle of the hallway. At the front line, I inserted myself so the frame was at my back in an effort to give myself something to brace against and provide additional strength when pushing forward. Unfortunately, soon after I secured this position, the momentum shifted, and we lost the ground that got me there. On my left was a man with a clear riot shield stolen during...
Okay, so, again, and I have sympathy for this officer and all the officers who were under attack during this thing, right? Is that what the purpose of the committee is? Is that what the purpose of the committee is? It's, again, this is a show trial. And so, hang on, I muted him. I'm going to make sure that I do want to come back when I want to hear some of the, here's some of the questioning.
Done to summarize his testimony.
Oh, no, he's going to, they're summarizing testimony because all these guys are going to be talking about what they were there for. I'm still confused, though. Why are none of these people, I'm going to go back
Chairman
here.
Thompson, members of the select committee.
Okay, U.S. Capitol Police officer.
Today to give my account.
Okay, this is the guy I think who ran and guided to people somewhere else in the building. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on here. Thank you, Teresa the Kid, for sponsoring the show with the 99. What's that song? 99. There was a song in was it the 80s? I want to say by Toto. Was that Toto that sang the song 99? Now I got to look it up. 99 Toto. Yes, it is 99. Oh, 99. Oh, 1979. Oh, okay. Toto, the song appeared on Hydra album, 1979. Single reached number 26 in the Billboard charts. In Canada, the song peaked at number 17. Ooh. 99. Ooh, what do we do? Oh, 99. Oh, 99, I love you. Ooh. I remember it now. I had to get that song, or 99 Blue Moons, too. All right, I'm sorry. I kind of talk about getting in a tangent. All right, more on the committee. This is a person at the Federalist. We're going to go through another article here. Democratic on Performative Capitol Riot Commission made more election challenges than Republicans. Pelosi kicked off. So remember, I was telling you how several of these committee members have made election challenges. Now, a part of the reason they were mad and kicked both, what's his name, Jim Jordan and Banks off the riot commission was because they challenged the election results in the Congress. So this is Pelosi. There are other members of this committee that have made election challenges that were even less legitimate than Jordan and Banks. In rationalizing her move to boot Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio and Jim Banks of Indiana off her January 6th Capitol Riot Commission, Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made an illusory claim that contradicts her decision to permit extremist Democrats. Pelosi said Jordan and Banks, quote, had made statements and taken actions that I think would impact the integrity of the committee, and that such statements and actions just made it ridiculous to put them on such a committee seeking the truth. Well, the first flaw with these remarks is that any truth will come to light from a 13-person commission comprised of those who are left-leaning enough to desire the riot to stay on replay in the American psyche forever. Furthermore, the left's relationship with the truth includes referring to a small minority of Trump supporters as white supremacists worthy of a trip to the gulag. We know the commission is a political ploy. It's a tool to frame all of the right as insurrectionists, no different than as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley articulated, quote, Nazis, end quote. Whoops, how about this one? That's a little loud. There have already been several investigations, but Pelosi and the left want it to never end. And why would they? Putting the tired charade merit aside, Pelosi's rebuke of Jordan and Banks contradicts the resumes of those she's handpicked to lead the Trump derangement syndrome initiative. If Democrat leadership is truly so appalled that Republicans would vote to contest election results of the 2020 presidential election, why did she appoint someone as chairman who has done the same thing? If Pelosi was operating on the same integrity definition to vet commission members, Mississippi Representative Benny Thompson would not have been appointed chairman. After all, it was Thompson who on January 6, 2005, voted against the Ohio certification of George W. Bush's win over John Kerry. Whereas Republicans in 2020 determined the election was fraudulent based on various incidents across the country of ignoring the election laws on the books, Thompson and others bucked the system for a baseless protest. Out of curiosity, what do they have here? I think they have the whole list here. Yeah, Democrats who praised objections to the Electoral College. Okay. Here's the other notable aspect of Pelosi's remarks. We know Jordan and Banks both opposed Democratic lawmakers who sought to impeach Trump twice. So what about Thompson and his colleagues who have opposed election certification to try to take down sitting presidents? Why does Pelosi allege a conflict of interest within the partisan commission regarding Jordan and Banks, but none for those who have tirelessly tirelessly worked to undermine the elections of Bush and Trump. Pelosi's chairman also joined Democrats in June 2008 to put forth impeachment articles against Bush. Bush was in part accused of, quote, misleading Congress and the American people in an attempt to destroy Medicare, end quote, and, quote, systematically undermining election efforts to address global climate change. That's why they wanted to impeach Bush. Thompson then tried much of the same in 2017 and 2018 with Trump. He voted to impeach Trump over not only the Russian collusion hoax, but supported an effort to remove the president for his Charlottesville, Virginia remarks and negative opinions on the National Football League and activist former quarterback Colin Kaepernick, amongst other things. Yes, Trump was not allowed to have opinions that conflicted with your opinions, and you better not ever disagree with him because you will want you impeached. Anyway, given that Thompson sought to impeach Trump for his, quote, fine people on both sides, end quote, Charlottesville comments that were purposely taken out of context by corrupt media, it seems clear that the congressman is unfit to serve on Pelosi's Truth Concern Commission. Thompson's case is not the only hypocrisy in this charade. Representative Adam Schiff and Jamie Raskin are both shitbags. Oh, wait, that's not what it says. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Both Adam Schiff and Jamie Raskin are two other leftist members of the commission that do not fit the integrity bill. Take Schiff, please. While serving as a ranking minority on the House Intelligence Committee, the Democrat was one of the most media-hungry Russian collusion hoaxers. Schiff prompted a conspiracy theory that Carter Page, a Trump campaign advisor, was a Russian asset who aimed to sway Trump. However, the FBI did not locate a shred of evidence to support these allegations against Page, which were funneled through a dossier subsidized by the Hillary Clinton campaign, the Democratic Party, and the FBI. The Democrat claimed there was he claimed that there was ample evidence of collusion in plain sight. Unfortunately, he never gave us he never produced it, and gained social credit from his allies for going full throttle into the Trump takedown fight. But Robert Mueller's lengthy investigation that Schiff fought to get found no collusion. Raskin, vice chair of the House Administration Committee and a member of the Judiciary and Oversight Committee, has arguably exhibited even more Trump derangement syndrome than Schiff, which is impressive. On January 6, 2017, Raskin challenged the certification of Trump's victory over Clinton. He denied a duly elected president is due. Quote, I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified to be because they violated Florida's prohibition against dual office holders, he claimed. Despite his objections to electoral processes, he's on Pelosi's commission. In addition to being a Russian hoaxer and sparking the first impeachment, Raskin joined Democrats in trying to impeach Trump for inciting the Capitol riot after Trump had already left office, stating that Trump's notion of the election results being a big lie led to the violence. Yeah, they tried to impeach him after he left office, and he was the lead dog on that particular committee. This stopped being funny. I'm just pissed off now. Well, I hear you. If Raskin determined the former president caused the breach due to refuting the election results and lacked moral character, where would that place him in 2017? As a saint fighting for democracy. Thompson, Schiff, and Raskin have all done and said worse things than the alleged offenses Pelosi cites for kicking Banks and Jordan off her, quote, integrity and truth commission. We know the real reason Banks and Jordan are not permitted to take part. The commission is a hyperbolic and performative measure to offer half the country as insurrectionists. It's a dangerous game. Conservatives lose by pretending otherwise. Yeah, FTG to all of those people. Raskin, Thompson, Schiff, and Pelosi. Oh, Gun Fox, you are absolutely correct. It is going to get worse. They're going to milk this for all it's worth. Let's see. And then I just opened the link to the article that they had here where it says Democrats who praised 2004 objections to electoral college certification now slam Hawley. Yeah, there were several others who did that. Dick Durbin. I don't know. There was anyway. But we're not going into that because that's not why we're here. Now, let's move on. I don't know if Adam Schiff really thinks about the words he chooses when he makes statements, but in this next article, Schiff, quote, there are a number of tools that we could use to compel testimony from Trump and McCarthy. Schiff is a tool. Anyway, the House Select Committee to investigate the January 6 attacks on the U.S. Capitol will hold its first hearing tomorrow, which is today, with testimony from some police officers who were caught unprepared as the crowd of Trump supporters mobbed the building where lawmakers had gathered to certify the 2020 presidential election. Now, I want to get back to that because as they're over here testifying, I accidentally shut it off. No, he's still testifying. Why were these officers overwhelmed again? Just out of curiosity? Anyone know? Well, because the reinforcements that were requested were denied. All right. So anyway, where are we at here? Representative Adam Schiff. Oh, pencil neck. A dedicated foe of former President Donald Trump and a member of the Select Committee said tomorrow's hearings intended to show public the violence of that day. Yes, because the CNN little docudrama that they put together with dramatic music and all the pictures and photos and video that we've seen has never been seen before, right? They've never seen it. It's because they're not going to show all of the video. There's thousands of hours of video from both Capitol cameras and people who were there. But no, anyway, let's see what he says. Let's just say what he says. Oops. Oh no, this is 4 minutes long. Should we watch it? We'll come back to this. Anyway, so let's see. He said that he wanted to show the public the violence of that day. It may also be intended to further and malign former President Donald Trump and Republican leader Kevin McCarthy ahead of the 2022 midterm elections. That's the goal. I think they're going to, because let's see, milk this out. They're going to milk this out for several months, I bet. And then everything in it is going to, okay. I should just do kind of a survey of Democratic campaign commercials and how many of these commercials focus on this event, because they're going to. They're going to, especially for John Hawley, anyone who question election results. It's going to be part of the campaign against them, and so I think it's important that some of these audits, if you hope they produce some results, because there's plenty of people who have testified to what they saw, and usually affidavits, sworn affidavits, mean something unless it's against something, unless it's against something you don't want anyone to hear. So the Democrats and the media, I know that's redundant, have never wanted to hear them. I never understood why the courts didn't want to hear them. I think there was something that I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody in the Justice Department or multiple people in the Justice Department said, nope, do not entertain any of this. We don't want any of this because this could be explosive for our country. It could hurt our democracy. And so they didn't want to hear it. Anyway, CNN's John Berman, not here, asked Schiff on Monday how the committee might go about getting Trump and McCarthy to testify. There are a number of tools we can use, Schiff said. And I'm the biggest one. It could mean we have to go through an enforcement process, and we were hampered in that the last 4 years because the Justice Department was hostile to the mission. You know, Bill Barr was at times implicated in what we were investigating. What? Was he now? Interesting. Oh, you thought he was okay. Never mind. And so was not going to enforce contempt against witnesses who were recalcitrant. That hopefully has changed, but you know, time will tell. But we're going to do everything we can. We'll use the tools that we have. Those that refuse to testify, you know, the public will likely draw an adverse inference that their testimony would be incriminating. But we hope to get as much of the evidence in the public realm as we possibly can. That is their purpose. That is their purpose. To put out as much of the dirt in public as they can. That's their only purpose of this committee. And to create visuals for future commercials for Democratic candidates. Anyway, Berman asked Schiff if he meant that the Justice Department would enforce contempt measures to compel testimony of witnesses such as Trump and McCarthy refused to testify. Well, there are lots of steps you would take before you ever got to that, Schiff said. You know, first you ask if they're voluntary for their voluntary testimony, and then you subpoena them to come in. Then you continue to escalate the steps necessary to compel their appearance. We tried enforcing the courts. As you've seen, that can take years, as it did in Don McGahn. But there's there's another route. If the courts are unavailing, or if there's an attempt to delay or protract the matter through the courts, where you can hold someone in contempt and seek enforcement through the Justice Department. Now, I hope none of that's necessary. Oh, I'm sure, Adam. I'm so sure that you hope none of that's necessary. That's your fucking wet dream. Did I just swear? I shouldn't swear. But there are a number of tools that we could use, and of course, we'll explore what we need to get the public answers. Berman asked Schiff, have you or anyone had conversations with the Justice Department about this issue? His answer, no, I have not, but I'm sure Merrick Garland would just love to have that conversation with you. I'm sure he would. And you know, let's hope that nothing like that is necessary. As for the hearing tomorrow, Schiff said he hopes the police officer's testimony will be powerful enough to rebut this revisionist history that you hear from some of our colleagues that claims this was a normal tourist day and try to downplay the significance of what's happened. The most serious attack on our Capitol in hundreds of years. I'm getting a little sick of that hyperbolic bullshit. Okay, we gave you a couple examples already. People were shot inside the Capitol House chamber. Okay, 2 people were killed by gunmen in the Capitol building, and they attempted to go attack other people. Officers, Capitol officers, like murdered, shot, point blank range, as people were breaching the Capitol. The idea that this was the most serious attack, and the Capitol building's been bombed. God, they got to stop with that shit. There's literal history. I'm sorry, I can't take it. Anyway, the public can expect to see a new video on Tuesday as the committee tries to show what it was like to be on the front lines that day. New video? I saw the video. I didn't see anything new. So anyway. All right. Thank you, Baby Vazo, with the deuce plus 23, as we call it around here. We thank you for the bullet. And Baby Vazo,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you very much. How is this any different than hearing someone tell you Obama passed away, and when you say they're full of shit, go on to refuse seeing a video posted of him saying, oh, the previous day dancing, only to continue claiming he passed away? That's a good question. Because they play on the uninformedness of the American people. Okay. The idea that and I would guess that they don't know. Look, here's the thing. I don't blame them for believing they felt like they were in danger that day. I understand that. So because of the fact that this was something that happened to them, as opposed to happening to the president of the United States, for example. Remember, we've had a parallel event to this, okay, where the president of the United States had to be removed from the White House by Secret Service to be protected. These people in Congress had to be removed from the the Capitol building to be protected from what they thought was a dangerous event, right? They don't seem to remember that the president of the United States went through this not 6 months earlier, where I can't believe that no one in the media likes to bring this up. Well, that doesn't fit their agenda. But they were all guffawing about it when Trump's hiding in a bunker. That was the big thing over Twitter, right? Trump hiding in a bunker. Why was he hiding in a bunker? Because one of the guard shacks of the White House was on fire. They set a church on fire, and they were attempting to breach the White House. Do you think that could come off somewhat as an attack on democracy, or attack? They tried to attack the leader of the free world. Oh no, it's just Donald Trump. Funky hair small hands, right? That's that. They laughed. Oh, he's hiding in a bunker because he was afraid of the protesters. Yeah, because they tried to breach the White House, and they were held back. But they don't see the parallel here. It's an obvious parallel. Oh, except for nobody shot any of the protesters that were trying to breach the White House. They didn't do that, but they did that breach the Capitol. But it was the same thing. They had to remove the president from a space because he was possibly under attack. They had to move Congress people from a space because they were possibly under attack. They experienced that, so that's what they see. It's the worst attack in hundreds of years. Oh, did any of you get shot like they did in 1954? No? Oh, I'm sorry. Did any of the police officers get murdered while in their attempt to take over the Capitol building? No. Anyway. The public can expect to see a new video on Tuesday as the committee tries to show what it was like to be on the front lines. Well, hopefully we'll have an opportunity to show the public a video that these officers lived, that they experienced, so they can understand what it was like to be facing off against that massive crowd, some of which came wearing battle gear. Oh, God. Oh, God. Yes, some of them, because they were so used to Antifa attacking people, right? That was the other thing. That was something, like, for example, that's one of the reasons that a couple of groups plan on being there. I know the Oath Keepers, they were planning on being there because what happens anytime there's a rally of people on the right? You get hundreds, maybe thousands of Antifa people coming to beat them up. Now, that didn't happen this time because someone tipped them off to not be there. Remember, there were a bunch of Antifa people that were planning on a counter rally of the Trump rally. Notice how they miraculously were nowhere to be found that day. Is that a coincidence? Or were they told, nope, we got it this time? How is it? Because there were, in fact, was it van loads of them that were arriving in D.C. and they were sworn off. They were said, nope. You're not going to be here for this time because there's. It seems like it was almost a plan. Hello, Ryan. How you doing? Anyway, so that was that one. I'm running out of time here. Well, here we go. Let's see. Oh, now let's go on a couple things that are not necessarily related to that, but this is more related to what's happening around the country. I have a couple other stories. So did y'all hear that Barbara Boxer, the former senator from California, got mugged in California? Did you know about that? I'm just curious. I'd heard about this, but I didn't follow the story until I found out. Well, let's just say that Barbara Boxer may be getting a dose of California reality. And this is for the American Thinker. Did Barbara Boxer just get mugged by reality? There was an amazing confluence of events in Oakland, California, when uber leftist Barbara, call me Senator Boxer, the former senator from California whose departure paved the way for Kamala Harris, was mugged in a city that led the way in defunding the police. That's a mouthful. Had the elderly Boxer been injured, I'd like to think I'm a decent enough person that I would have been shocked by what happened and felt for her. However, as she was not injured, I can only say that karma came a-knocking on her door. Knock, knock, knocking on karma's door. And that literally being mugged by reality is perhaps the most useful experience for a leftist. According to the San Francisco Gate, a San Francisco-based online news outlet, Boxer got shoved and lost her phone. Boxer, 80, was assaulted by an assailant who pushed her in the back, stole her cell phone, and jumped in a waiting car, the tweet said. The former senator was not seriously injured in the confrontation, according to the tweet. Good. We do not want her to be injured. In other words, she was a victim of the same smash and grab crime that's been sweeping America in the past year, whether the smashing is a window, a showcase, or a person. She's lucky that she didn't suffer the fate of the man in Brooklyn who was bludgeoned to unconsciousness and literally rolled across the sidewalk for his wallet. To understand the schadenfreude I feel about what happened to Boxer, you first need to know her politics. Boxer is a leftist, although in her defense, she wasn't a bat fecal matter crazy leftist because she left Congress at the same time Trump entered, an event that drove the Democratic Party to completely insane. She was a batshit crazy matter, whatever leftist. I'm just saying. Indeed, looking at what a pre-2017 uber leftist stood for, it's amazing to see how far the left of the party shift. Oh, I see what he's saying. Compared to now, she's not. It's how the party shifted just during Trump's presidency. It shifted even farther left in the 6 months of Biden's White House occupancy. Boxer stood for the usual leftist stuff: abortion, environmentalism, anti-gun, hate crimes, anti-war, etc. But she also had moments of sanity. Although she despised Netanyahu, she generally supported Israel, something that's now anathema among Democrats. She wanted election integrity laws, but did show insipid signs of Trump deranged syndrome when she wanted to end the Electoral College after Trump's 2016 win. And she took useful stands on issues such as autism and health insurance, saying Americans should be able to get the same quality insurance policies as members of Congress. Those positions would get Boxer shamed out of the party nowadays. However, we all know that she stayed in the Senate, had she stayed in the Senate, she would have gone as hard left as the rest of the Democrats. She was far, far, far to the left of Dianne Feinstein. She was batshit crazy. I don't know who this person writing doesn't know about Barbara Boxer. Anyway, if you look at Boxer's voting record, she was always amongst the most progressive voters in Congress, earning 100% scores from every leftist group in America and single-digit scores from conservative groups. In other words, she always voted to the far left on whatever issue was before the Senate. That almost certainly means she would have been a cheerleader for Black Lives Matter madness, including the push to defund the police. And defunding the police is exactly what Oakland, a crime-ridden American city, did. In 2020, the Oakland City Council cut $14 million from the police budget, even as homicides increased by 47%. At the end of June 2021, the same council cut the budget by another $18 million, even though homicides were up 87% in 2021. Many on the council would have cut the budget by 50%, but some sanity prevailed. This self-destructive madness is the logical terminus of Boxer's politics. Here's the beauty of Boxer's brush with reality. Normally, these crazy leftist policies, everything from defunding the police to opening the borders, leave the rich, white, and black leftists to espouse them untouched. They live in quiet, safe, often gated communities from which illegal aliens and other criminals are barred by good police forces, security systems, and private guards. It's very rare indeed, I'm hard-pressed to think of another example, to see one of the rich leftists who enacted these horrible policies come a cropper because of them. And that's why I'm feeling nothing but schadenfreude over Boxer's truly minimal brush with the kind of crime her party is visiting on ordinary people across America's Democratic-run cities. That's true, even though to the extent these cities are Democratic-run, the ordinary people now victimized by crime are the same ones who put maniacs on the city councils and into their mayor's offices. Eventually, they're going to have to get mugged by reality too, and start voting Democrats out of office if anything's going to change. So, but yeah, it's funny because, I don't think her cell phone that she lost in that mugging was worth more than $950. Therefore, in California, property crimes that of under $950 generally just are let go. And so there you go. The target was obviously not Boxer, but the phone. Yes, it was the phone. And so the phone was probably worth less than $950. And so they will not investigate that property crime. They could have left her car on cinder blocks. Well, they could have done that too. I don't know. Good morning, Sydney. How you doing? Hello, Chauncey Stewart. Nice to see you too. Oh, the circus show is already underway. In fact, they're asking questions now. We might check the last few minutes of them asking questions, but we'll check that out in a minute. Also, let's see. Oh, well, that's actually it. Oh, just there's another report out that a whole bunch of Democrats, since they were defunding police, they all seems like they hired private security. A report by Forbes shows numerous Democratic mayors around the country hired private security after their cities cut or proposed cutting police budgets. According to Forbes, 25 major U.S. cities across the country took up the defund the police cause, and mayors in 20 of those cities enjoy personal protection of a dedicated police security detail. Isn't that just shocker? Shocker. Hello, T-Ball. What's up? Moreover, Forbes emphasized that the defunding of police, coupled with taxpayer dollars spent on police security details protecting public officials, only occurred in cities run by Democratic mayors. Oh, that's perfect. The cities where this occurred included Baltimore, Chicago, Denver, San Diego, San Francisco, and New York City. Get a rope. For example, the Democrat Los Angeles City Council President Nuri Martinez pushed to cut police funding in the summer of 2020, all the while having a private LAPD police unit stationed outside her home. In June 9, 2020, Spectrum News pointed out that police had been outside Martinez's house for a couple months. Moreover, on June 27, 2020, Breitbart News observed that Minneapolis spent $63,000 on private security for 3 city council members who claim they had been subjected to threats. Fox 9, that's our local Fox affiliate, identified the 3 council members with security details: Andrea Jenkins, Ward 8, Philippe Cunningham, Ward 4, and Alondro Cano, Ward 9. All 3 members were outspoken proponents of defunding the Minneapolis Police Department. So, do as we say and not as we do. All right, let's go check in on the hearing, the show trial again, and see what happens, what's going on here. Liz Cheney's asking questions. Let's find out what she's asking.
Was that something that you had anticipated at all? And could you just tell us more about that crowd there at the Ellipse, the extent to which you saw people who clearly were in military or paramilitary garb?
It was absolutely a source of concern. Like I said,
military or paramilitary garb.
Outer carrier vests designed to carry ballistic shielding, helmets, goggles, face masks, backpacks filled with unknown objects. And I couldn't get a count, and we couldn't stop and search everyone. But so I don't know how many there were, but I know that it was obviously a concern of mine.
Thank you very much. And then finally, Officer Dunn, you mentioned the text message that you received. and you expressed some surprise. You mentioned that you had not seen any intelligence that would have led you to believe that we should expect that kind of violence. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, ma'am. So we were expecting civil disobedience as we do at the Capitol. At least that was what was relayed to us. A couple of arrests, name calling, unfriendly people, but nowhere near the level of violence or even close to it like that we experienced. When I received the text message, it made the hairs on my neck rise. But since our chain of command had not told us to prepare for any of these levels of violence.
Yeah, it's definitely a leading question. And again, this is the part where they want to show the worst parts of it, and I understand that. Okay, you want to show the worst parts. I don't think any of them are going to ask a question. I was behind, so I moved it up. Oh my God, Zoe Lofgren. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to subject you to that. I'll tell you what, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it today. Look, we'll get into some of the details of what some of the workings of today's today's hearing, which is really, like I said, it's a show trial. Let's see. I'm just going to check a couple headlines here before we go. Nation of Islam. Oh, are you kidding me? All right, where to go here? Twitter suspends Nation of Islam for attacking vaccines, but not for attacking Jews. Twitter previously declined. I'm sorry. I'll put these up here. Nation of Islam, an extremist anti-Semitic group ran by Louis Farrakhan, was banned from Twitter for criticizing mRNA vaccines. Twitter previously declined to ban Farrakhan's personal account or the group account for their routine harassment of Jewish people. I'm sorry. That is that's hilarious. That's a head. That'll be in the. I'll put that out in the tab today. By the way, all the stories that we cover today and a few more will be in the link down below in the description. Right after the first paragraph, it's called a one-tab link. It'll have all the stories we covered, plus links if you want to go straight to the Capitol hearing. I have that link. That'll be in there too. I'll have it by the end of the outro. You can go watch it for yourself if if you are a true masochist. Please help yourself. Other headlines that we'll be checking out over the next couple of days. Cuomo says we must knock on doors, put people in cars and drive them and get that vaccine in their arm. They're going to go on a apparently in New York, they want to do the same thing that Biden mentioned, but maybe to a little more extent. They want to go out and knock door to door too. Let's see. MIT study, vaccine hesitancy is highly informed, scientifically literate, and sophisticated. Oh, trying to shame the holdouts has failed spectacularly. Insulting and degrading them as morons or ignorant has resulted in a vicious pushback and a hardening of positions on getting vaccinated. Still, most experts agree that some people who should be getting vaccinated aren't doing so, but the root cause isn't ignorance or a belief in conspiracy theories. An MIT study on the problem revealed surprising results. Okay, that sounds a good one to put in the tabs today. I'm going to move these out here so that you can find them. They'll be at the bottom of the list today. What's this one? Oh, that's the Twitter suspending Farrakhan. Other headlines. We'll get into some stories tomorrow. Maybe we'll get to it. Rand Paul sends criminal referral for Fauci to the Justice Department. That's going to go nowhere, but at least he did it. Good for him. What else? Oh, wait a minute. We're going to finish with this one because it's just one of those, of course he does. This will be our last story of the day. Now, I need all of you who are here to brace yourself against something very sturdy, Okay. By the way, hit the like button while you're thinking about it. I need you to brace yourself something very sturdy, because this one is going to throw you for such an incredible loop. You are not going to understand how, I mean, I can't even explain to you how shocking this is going to be to your system. Okay. You are going to need to make sure, don't drink anything right now, because I don't want you to hurt yourself when you hear about this. Okay. You don't want to, I just brace yourself, because you just are not going to believe this at all. Okay. You ready? Hunter Biden's art dealer has ties to China. Oh my God! But of course he does. The appearance of graft in the form of bribery just wasn't enough for Hunter Biden and his alleged art. I'm sorry, let me just fix that right now. And his alleged art. Now Fox reveals that the dealer behind Hunter Biden's art sale has his own ties to China. Oh my God. George Burgess, who is representing Hunter Biden as he ventures into the art world, has talked about his business dealings in China in the past, but his reported ties could pose an ethics issue as he sells Biden's art to anonymous buyers, probably from China. Burgess said in a 2015 interview with a resident that he wanted to be the art world's leader in China. Quote, "My plan is to be the lead guy in China, the lead collector and art dealer discovering and nurturing talent from the region," Burgess said. "I plan to find and discover and bring to the rest of the world those I consider China's next generation of modern artists and money launderers." I'm sorry, I threw that last part in there. He also said that he believes China's economy is transforming the global economy and money laundering and everything. I'm sorry, I added that there too. Okay. And everything is changing because of a rising China and their big bucks where they can launder money to Hunter Biden. Wait, he didn't say that either. And that he was fascinated by cultural impact China is having on the world and the world of money laundering. Oh, they didn't say that part either. I keep adding that money laundering thing, and I can't figure out why do I keep doing that? I don't know. Anyway. Hunter Biden's laptop files revealed that he has a long-standing financial relationship with a Chinese energy company, a field in which Biden has no experience or expertise, and that his father, Joe Biden, was aware and in on the deal. It seems all roads to the Biden's wallet lead through Beijing. Burgess reported ties to China and the anonymity that buyers could pose a potential ethics problem. Oh, you think? Especially with the younger Biden's prodigal relationship with President Biden. Anonymous buyers could have ties to the Chinese Communist Party and could attempt to buy influence in the Biden administration through art purchases. You think? Oh my gosh, the Biden regime keeps saying the buyers for Hunter's art will be kept anonymous. Well, that doesn't help. Oh, that's what they said too. Neither does Hunter admitting that he will meet with them. Oh, they're going to be anonymous, but he's going to meet with them. The potential is there for literally anyone, Xi Jinping, George Soros, the Iranian Ayatollah, just about anyone, to funnel money directly into Biden's bank account and then let them know on the sly that they've done so. Kamala Harris was also named in Hunter Biden's files in connection with the Chinese energy company. That should be investigated, but of course it will not be, unless someone behind the scenes gets the idea that she needs to go. Oh, wait a minute. If someone behind the scenes decides she needs to go. Now, I'm curious if anyone whose name rhymes with Blinton, if they wanted to get rid of Kamala Harris and then they need to replace the vice president, and then they could go with Hillary Clinton, and then Joe Biden could step down because of his dementia, then Hillary would be president. Oh my God, I'm just creating, this is like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Anyway, the media that's capable of doing its job would hound the Bidens until this, quote, art, end quote, sale never happens. But that's not in the cards. The media doesn't care. Plus, they're aware that social media platforms are likely to censor stories about this anyway, so no clicks, no interest. Because all of this, Hunter Biden's art is not worth anything close to the prices being discussed, because they're talking about between $75,000 and $400,000 per piece. Capiche? I'm sorry. Which basically his art amounts to crayon drawings by a 7-year-old, if you ask me. Picasso, he's not. In fact, well, even Picasso wasn't that much Picasso. At least Picasso had themes, and it had a. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, like I said, the hearing's going on. That'll be in the links. I will have that done by the end of the outro. All these stories will be linked in the one tab link in the description down below. I appreciate you. Before you do anything, before I even begin to sign off, I would appreciate it greatly. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. If you're watching on a replay, or if you got here late and watched part of the show later, throw a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the show trial, what you think about Hunter Biden's artwork, what you think about Nancy Pelosi and her committee. But you don't try not to swear too much. And I gotta say, I thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sponsors Teresa the Kid and Baby Vaso for sponsoring the show today through your generous donations. I appreciate that greatly. Also, thank you to those who share the stream, everyone participating in the chat, and just for your continued support. I greatly appreciate all of you. It is time for me to leave, though. Again, the links will be done before the outro. I'll let you know when that's ready. Thanks, guys. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.